we are celebrating now our 20-year anniversary.
Yes.
And we're very happy to still be here, discovering new artists and giving them and you the opportunity to enjoy the exploration of what they do. I've known Sheila for a very long time, and for all of that time, I've been impressed by a few things. I've been impressed by her original vision. I've been impressed by her courage. I've been impressed by her willingness to experiment with not only materials, but to experiment with ideas. And I've been impressed with the value she brings as a sense of earnest devotion to what she does. I think that's evidenced here in the work that you see. In this work, you see not only color and form, but you see a sense of force. And, you know, for lack of a better term or an overused term, I see a very spiritual kind of orientation in all of the work that Sheila does. The work that is belief, when we were first talking about the exhibition, without going into a deep conversation about what we were going to be doing here with this exhibition, I thought that relief was a sense of relief from the very trying period that we have all just endured. Now, it wasn't just COVID. It's COVID plus. It's everything that has been exposed, unearthed, and that has emerged because of and since COVID. And the because of is not the disease as much as it was an opportunity in isolation to reevaluate who we are, what we're doing, what we're seeing, what we're thinking about, and how to move forward from difficult situations, but also how to move forward in the pattern of our lives that will put us on a trajectory where we can feel that we're doing something that's important and that what we're doing matters. Sheila is an artist who is working every day to demonstrate what is important. It's not only important to her, but it's important, one, because she does it. It had been said that for an African American woman or a woman of color to be an artist is a political, if not radical, act. And I firmly believe that. And I think that Sheila, in her practice, in the demonstration of how she moves forward with her work, regardless of the circumstances, and how she brings the work in a very genteel kind of way to us to learn about and enjoy. This is Sheila Crider.
Well, I'd like to thank all of you for coming out to see this work. It's the product of, I guess, the last 12 months. I relocated from Washington in November of 2022, and I got a studio for the first time outside of my home, and it's been a very interesting experience to work outside of where I lived, and it's been challenging in a lot of ways. One of the things that I wanted to do was to work on things that had been lingering in my old studio, and to not purchase new material because I believe in, you know, recycling. And I had so much stuff that was just hanging around. I felt like it would be a challenge to make something of what was there. So the work started with this panel of 9 pieces, this piece of 9 panels in the back. And it was a larger piece that I cut down and decided I would just start there. And just to have a place to start. And basically I just worked. And once I just started working, I just kept working. And then just choosing materials to move forward, because the object was to work. You know, it wasn't to make anything particular. but just to continue to explore abstraction in a way that I understood it to be a three-dimensional art form. Because if you go back to modernism, modernism takes us to this point of three-dimensionality and to abstraction. And so to me, as an artist, I think the challenge is to bring those two things together. It's always about form, it's always about color, and it's always about what you have on hand. So basically, this is the product of 12 months of work. If you know me, you know that I've been working on quilt batting for the past, it's almost like 8 years. I started in 2017 when I found a roll of batting in the thrift store. I had a residency in Paducah, Kentucky, which turned out to be a center for the quilting arts. So I took that as kind of serendipitous that I should be working on this. And so I came up with a series of 12 words that I worked around in an intersectional way, trying to find relationships between these 12 words that include a community, fine art, painting, artist, craft person, just ways of looking at things and ways that would bring ideas to the work that maybe I had not worked in before. And with quilt batting, just the whole idea of it being craft oriented, meant I was going to stitch, I was going to weave, I was going to do things that were kind of crafty. But at the same time, I'm also looking at making so-called fine art. Okay? I mean, and all of that became very important and is about, for me, the idea of being an artist. Because I think that fine art is kind of just a nomenclature, it's a way of looking at things, and it's a way of separating and marketing. Okay? Because what I do are artifacts. These are the remnants of what come out of my orientation to life and to working, and it's always about working with my hands. I don't know that I could ever have studio assistants. Because now that's the regard. Everybody's got like this whole group of people that are making their work, and my work is very personal to me. And what I see is the vision of how I look at things and how I want people to, in turn, be able to look at things and see themselves in it. Because what you see in this work is what you bring as your experience, how you look at things. I put things here, but when I talk to you, I find things that you see that I had not been aware of was there. And that's the important thing to me about abstraction, is that it is a communication. It's between me and the audience, and the work and the audience. So I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that some of you take something home. I hope that you have it framed by Michelle. Because, the work is like, it's quilt batting, and if it's not framed, it'll get, because it'll just absorb everything in the room. So to protect it needs to be framed, but you can very Japanese, and you're going to take it home in your little archival sleeve, and you're going to take it out from time to time. But if you're going to display it permanently, it needs to be framed. But in any case, if you have questions.
And there's so much here to choose from.